Hi there, my name is Tatum, sometimes known as Coach T, and this is our first podcast here. It's called the IEX Sports Performance Podcast, and this is the very first one. I have a few episodes lined up for you coming up, but I wanted to get on here and introduce myself and kind of tell you why I began this podcast. And it's kind of funny. I wish I could show you my vision board. No. So for me, I'll just tell you my story quickly. Maybe you heard it or not on YouTube, but I started strength training. I was into swimming. I did track. I did basketball. I kind of tried a lot of things, gymnastics, ballet. I mean, I liked sports. I liked moving. I knew that much, and I tried a lot of things. But I did find out that I was more of an individual when it came to sports, because I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I didn't like the thought of letting a team down. So I always just wanted to push myself and worry about myself more. And that, it's kind of weird, but anywho, I loved swimming. I loved running. I didn't particularly enjoy doing either one of them the entire year. And I still like that. I'm still that athlete. That's why I like triathlons, because I feel like I'm constantly changing it up and moving from swim, bike, run, which is nice. And I usually even exchange those. Like sometimes in one summer I do triathlons and I train, and then the next summer maybe I'm out on the trails and I'm training for a trail race, which is my other love. So with that being said, I was in high school. All my coaches wanted me to do year-round training. I wasn't really up for it. My swim coach introduced me to strength training, and I really started to enjoy that in addition to my sports. So got interested. She kept pushing to swim year round. I wasn't really up for that, but the football coach at the high school, I went to Kokomo High School in Indiana, they that particular coach, the strength coach and the football, he let me come in with the football team and strength train 3 days a week. And he gave me a plan. I was the only girl to strength train with the boys team, football team of all things, during the summer, during that season. So 3 days a week, I spent an hour in the gym or in the weight room with the guys, and maybe ran, I think my warm-up was to run around the building a couple times, the high school, and then come in and do my strength training. I didn't really do much more than that. And literally it changed me. This was sophomore year, I want to say. Maybe it was my sophomore year. I was about 16. And it leaned me out. I wasn't the best eater at the time. So despite my activity levels, I wasn't probably in the shape that I should be for what I did. But it did help. It changed my body shape. It made me stronger, made me more confident. It definitely made me faster without the swim. So I came back faster in the fall for swim season than I had been just from strength training. So I was hooked. Anyways, with that being said, I've always had a love for strength training and sports, and I feel like it's very important for the youth. And I know we kind of have these extremes where we either have the youth that are playing video games and inactive and maybe more sedentary, and then we have the youth that are really involved. They're in club sports and they've been doing sports since they were 5, maybe 5 days a week. Nothing that I grew up with. So I wanted to bring together, kind of before this quarantine, which I guess I should bring up that topic, that COVID-19 kind of shut things down for us, and my husband and I were considering this podcast for quite some time, and I got very excited about it. I wanted to bring on doctors and coaches and nutritionists and sports psychologists and the youth. I wanted to bring on the youth here nearby that have accomplished a lot of things, and not even with that, but with schoolwork and their sports. So I was looking to just kind of bring us all together and offer up a podcast that youth athletes can tune into and maybe gain a little knowledge to help them out, to help motivate, to make them a better athlete. So that's kind of where we were headed with that. I was very excited about it. And then the quarantine set in. And I really had originally wanted to meet face-to-face, invite people in, go to their house and do this, just connect. Really just connect the sports performance or youth athlete of this area. And so we got stuck inside, and I kind of decided, oh, let's not do this right now. And then I really felt I missed. I'm a strength coach, and I really missed the connection with my kids and with my people. So we took, anyways, the workouts online. I do Zoom workouts online and other things, but I decided, this is a good time to connect. We can do Zoom podcast and record this and still connect, and it's a good time more than ever to do that. And I feel like it's a really good time, a lot of these athletes, young athletes who are used to being active and having that encouragement and support from their coaches and teammates are missing out on that. And if that's something that excites them or it's their hobby, their outlet, they're missing that. And this is kind of a hard time, and you're not even seeing your friends or socializing at school. And then, your sport has also been kind of taken away at this point. So it's been good. We've, coaches are feeling the same way as the athletes and I can relate to that too. You just feel like you miss the energy. Okay. You don't have that energy as when everyone's together. So anyways, we still thought, let's connect, let's talk about, let's see what these coaches are doing. Maybe we can get some youth to tune in and hopefully just get them excited about the future, even though it's a little unknown right now, but get them excited and know that the sport will be back, and those who work hard now will, benefit from this when they come back, if they just stay on task and find that inner strength to keep practicing, keep working hard, to move. Which brings me to another thing about this podcast is that, we focus on certain sports a lot. Basketball, football, soccer. But there's so many other activities out there, including strength training. Some kids, some youth are not into sports, and that's fine. But I think that health and fitness is an important thing for everyone. And strength training is one of those things that I feel like they can get started on and feel good and that everybody can do. But there are other things out there, like equestrians or, now they have professional bowling. There's archery. There's so much out there that kids can be doing and that they can find, when you think just soccer or basketball or your mind goes there, you might think, oh, I'm out. But there's so much opportunity. So part of this podcast too for me is to highlight those kids, those athletes who are active and doing things, but just maybe it's not your typical idea of a sport, but it is a sport. So I'm hoping to reach out and bring those people and those kids onto, and coaches alike and trainers, and just kind of bring us all together and hopefully inspire others. So this is, again, the Iron Edge X Sports Performance. And it is, again, going to be mostly for the parents, the coaches, and for the youth here. And so I'm hoping we enjoy it. We'll have a bunch of different guests on. I think this is going to be a great way to hopefully give the kids a place to be inspired and learn and excel. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you continue to listen and follow us. Thank you. All right, so that's it for our first episode on Iron Edge X Sports Performance. I hope that you will follow us on iTunes or Spotify and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And we're really looking forward to this journey with you in the future. Bye.